Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Doc from North America. Well, it is what it is. We're running a little late. It's a Monday morning, and we're just being a little slow. Sorry about that. Let's see. There we go. And let's see if I hear us too. Yep, I hear us at the same time, so that's good. All right. And then let's see where we go from here. Let's take a look at the dollar index. Let's put it up on both of them, really. There's the dollar index to your right. It's moving down again even more today. I didn't update this, so let's do that too. Let's update this. Let's show you the live shot of it. Right there. Is that it? No, right there. Yeah, that's it. There's the live shot of it right there. And you can see moving down again. It's in a sell now for 5 days, just like it is on the beta, and it's still in that weekly sell. As much as they try to lift them up, get them going, they have a hard time at it. There's no doubt about that. At the same time, I mean, it's such a confusion. People keep on reaching for dollars because they want to be invested here in the States. So it's like a combination. And we don't even, we're not even clear. We're not even clear about what the Federal Reserve demands. What are they constantly demanding from the funds? The amount of effort that's going in on keeping other countries' currencies in line. They do come out every quarter and they say, geez, this is their, I don't know, what do they call it? Manipulating? I don't know how to even, with a straight face, how they even say the word manipulating, but they do. But anyway, that's where it's at. You can see it. We have been in a sell, and it's just still pushing down. And, we're a little overbought still, in the sense that we're at 102. And at the same time on the spreadsheet, let's see, where is it at on the spreadsheet? Right. Let's go to the spreadsheet. You can see right there, down at the bottom. 6 weeks in a sell, 4 days in a sell. Now we're going on a 5th day. That's the 5th right there, starting off. And you can see here on the weekly, the fastest trying to get up to the manifold, but it's not getting to the zero line. And you can see here the slow histogram has broken the manifold on the downside, and the green line's been underneath here now since way back in here, trying to tell us over and over again, even with the small bounce, that it really didn't have much energy in it. There's not that power in the system at this point. There's power, the money, that's what it comes down to. It's the money. The money is not coming into it. And, they're kind of probably lost. And, it's in between. We got the election going on. And so that really confuses everything. And, and it doesn't seem to want to stop. It's just a perpetual, open other workspace here. Here we go. And so it just doesn't really stop. It's a consistency of, are we, what, who's going to be president? As far as I can tell, it looks like Trump is going to be president. So the markets are trying to, kind of convey that train of thought. They're that's why they started reaching for the was it the NQ, not the NQs, the Russell 2000. We started seeing the Russell 2000 get lifted up. It had not had this clean of action, in other words, activity for a while. And we got up to about 2,200, which is pretty big for them. And I think the all-time is 2,600. And it was sitting down in the 20s, 2021. And all of a sudden it lifted up almost 200 points, like a 12 or 13% move. So that meant that they were actually, thinking that Trump was going to be elected and there was going to be money was going to go hunt young companies, because remember Russell 2000 is basically where Microsoft started and Apple started and Amazon started and Google started. I mean, it's pretty much that is the action. That is the place where small little $2 and $3 billion companies and $500 million companies start off, and they grow into, sometimes we're really lucky. We try to see more action from it. There's more positive So, all right, what else do we got going on here? I guess what we'll do is we can shoot over to, that's the dollar index, and I guess we could open up, let's see, where is it at? Let's minimize that. There we are. And let's open up the currencies themselves and take a peek at what's going on with the euro this morning. We saw I saw on Friday that as you see here, let's put it up on the currency side on the spreadsheet. You see the Turkish lira closed at another all-time high. No, closed at an all-time close. So it's 4 days now on the daily buy and 15 weeks in a weekly buy. But there it is. There, it's up on the screen now. You can see it. It's closed. It keeps on closing at all-time closes, not all-time highs. The all-time highs seem to be about 2 weeks back now. You can see the two twin towers there. That's what it's like. Two twin towers right there, there and there. And whatever they're doing, they are definitely putting pressure on their equity in that country. They are squeezing it tight. So, let's see. What else can we say about some of that? I guess what the best to be said is that there's a lot of pressure on that currency to go in the wrong, at least I call it the wrong direction. For them, maybe that's what they want. They want to devalue their assets in that country to a point where foreign investors come in and start to build new companies, or they just don't care. One or the other. It's not very clear to me. I'm very confused when your currency goes from 1 to 37 over a 10-year period. It's like, when do you give up? When do you stop doing whatever you're doing and say, geez, I guess we're doing something wrong? But not that former prime minister, now president. You know, they just keep on playing the same game, expecting a different, I guess a different result. I don't even know. I saw where they were actually having, fights in the parliament itself. People were running up to the speakers of, someone was talking and they would start punching at them. Women, men, everything. Things are getting really weird there. So, all right. Now, let's go take a look at the euro. Right there. Not right there. Right there. And there's the euro. And you can see the euro showing a lot of strength there. Going up, it's days in the buy. What's that? That's number, you can see it right at the number 30, was it number 33 on the spreadsheet. So it's 6 weeks in a buy, 5 days in a buy. We're seeing that strength. We're seeing that action. Let's go through the metals because I got to save some charts here. I'm a little behind today. So we might as well just jump. Let's go to the South African Rand and see what they're up to. So right there. And there's the South African Rand. And you can see, it's been moving down, so we expect to see gold moving up. And there's no doubt I've seen gold moving up. Hey, Janos. The stocks moved into weekly buys. Yeah, it's just like there's, the dailies were protecting the shorts, and now we're climbing more, and I guess they have. Let's see where the stock is today. Where's the S&P 500 today? Yeah, it's up a little bit, not a lot, but I think there's the all-time high. I thought they would stall out here. This thing doesn't look like it wants to stall out. It looks like they just want to keep on taking it up. And there's your buy from last week. So it goes into the weekly buy. The S&P 500 even gets into the into the buy, which is amazing. You see copper, turned up. Its weekly is trying to get there. Let's do this. We're going to save all these charts, and if you want to see a chart, we'll stop and give you a chart. Yeah, so there's the copper. They're lifting it up. We'll go check out the Shanghai. See what the Shanghai is up there. Look at there's silver. Silver's even flirting with the weekly buy now. Even they're buying all this stuff. Everything is being bought. I'm not sure if you can say that there's like a fire sale going on. In other words, I read where they're saying that the hedge funds are on the sell side. which doesn't surprise me any. I mean, they've got some nice profits locked in, so it would make sense to be, taking some profits. You got to take profits. I saw something over the weekend. I forget who it was that said, if you're not taking profits, you know how I always say it. It's like if you're not taking profits when you're making money, when are you going to take profits? When you're losing money, you can't take profits. You're lost. So I will take a pause, not do much after the last failure of follow shorts. Yes, it appears that they will move higher. That's what it seems. They do not have an interest in backing off. Yep, and that's why you got to coordinate the daily and the weekly together. And you can see here's the what is that? That's Friday. Let's see what today looks like. This is gold. Gold, battled its way from going into that sell. It tried to go into that sell half a dozen times and then basically found a way to lift through it. Okay, now there you go. Got gold a little down today. Just a little down. And I guess, we closed at an all-time high on Friday. I think, it was an all-time high on Friday. So, they're not letting go to, the metals are lifting, which is a surprise to me. I expect to see them strong, but I don't expect them to keep on making new all-time highs. It's not big, it's small. We're not seeing, like these, like another $100 or $200 up, but we're seeing everybody turn into buys and start to get strong. That's what it really comes down to, is that they don't want to walk away. And what really surprises me more than anything else is that the way the professional crops have been really, really weak, and that's what surprises me, because I would have thought that they would have been strong. I mean, we're seeing soybeans down now $2 a bushel, which is, to me, is a real surprise. And corn under $4. We keep on seeing that the same way. You can see here heating oil. Heating oil is trying to get up into the weekly buy. It's very close, and right there. And then you can see here the crude oil right there. The crude oil is doing its thing. As gold's going up, crude oil is going down, which is kind of rare. And then you can see here we are now definitely flirting with a weekly buy right there. We're flirting with a weekly buy, and it's so. Here we are in sells, daily sells. We've been in weekly sells, and now we're seeing, crude oil and probably what's it called, Brent North Sea oil, showing the same signs. It's trying to lift up on a weekly, and at the same time, it's trying to the daily is going down, and then we have gold and silver and everything heading up. It doesn't stop. It's definitely, different, much different. You can see here's Kansas City wheat. This is the wheat that everybody uses for flours, for cake and for cookies and treats, that type of thing, compared to bread. And you can see that the wheat has been weak. And all of it's been weak. And look at that downwardly slope, all of it. So we're seeing a lot more action in things that we wouldn't think we would see action in. There's soybeans. Soybeans, they're sitting there at $960 for the lead month, November. $960. It's been in a weekly sell. What's it say on the spreadsheet? I think the spreadsheet is like, there it is right there up at the top. The weekly's been in a weekly sell for 10 weeks. The soybeans. They again, it's just one slow drag down. The worldly assets that I would have thought would have been, holding their own are not, which is really surprising. I mean, people need food, but for some reason here in the United States in particular, and they represent. I mean, we have 25% of the global bean market, So you would kind of think that it would be a lot firmer than what it is, but it's not. It's the other way around, which is surprising. And then you can see here the front month September corn, again another product. And up on the spreadsheet, that's 11 weeks in a sell, and it's only found ways to come down from the $5 area down to below the $4 area, and that's again. I don't expect to see this, coming into the end of the summer. I would have thought we would have seen, some strength. And you can see here, we got into a buy for the December contract, which was flirting with the $4 area, but it's been in a weekly sell for, same as the September one. And, here we are. It's playing with a daily sell as we speak. It's they literally tried to get this thing to go up. And you can see it's even a little bit higher than Friday, but it's just pushing down. You can see it's trying to get into the sell, and what did it? I don't know. It just seems to me, I would have thought that we were hungry for, not a pun intended, but I would have thought we were like needed food. People were starving. So how did the prices go down, which is even more surprising. And look, this is regular wheat for bread. You can see it tried to get going on the fast, but the slow wheat on the spreadsheet there is also 10 weeks. They've taken all the grains down. We've seen where all the metals, to a great extent, were on the downside, minus gold for a while. They were trying to take them down, trying to put pressure on them, and now it seems like all the metals are starting to see the action. This was something also I was really surprised about, is the cost of like meat. You can see it here. On Friday, it closed in a daily sell, and it's pressing down. And surprisingly so. That's December cattle. It's I don't want to call it fun. It's odd to watch what has been falling apart. There it is there. That's the October cattle, doing the same thing, showing that weakness. And, it's just a surprise to me. Just as I just thought for sure they were going to have, stay steady. Come from almost 190 a pound down to 178 a pound. It's been, and it seems to be doing that consistently at this point. You can see here, this is feeder. These are the young cattle doing the same thing, pushing into the sell. No real buying, coming down from the $2.60 area down to $2.35 area, which is decent move. Obviously, that's maybe it. Anything's possible. There's no doubt that the inflation has been driving the politicians totally. Made them enormously frustrated. And so maybe they're putting pressure on going right into the grain market and putting pressure. And then we'll see some really weird, like, delivery problems. And the next thing you know is that they'll go flying up. And that's a possibility. We see how hungry the Democrats are to hold power. They'll do anything. Open the borders, allow illegal people to vote, bring criminals in to vote and create chaos. They're doing all these odd things, and and it's almost like no one cares. It's like no one cares. The population here do, but the ruling party right now doesn't seem to care, as far as they're concerned. It's like, good, fine, let it fall apart. Let it fall apart. Amazing, just amazing. And then you hear Miss Harris, the presidential candidate now, and she says stuff like, she's repeating policy of Trump, which is really weird, because we know that she's campaigning. Every inch of her body, every spiritual connection to her and the economy is the opposite of what she believes. In other words, her ideas, her new ideas, are literally the opposite of everything she's been doing, making those votes in the Senate. She even voted to keep, to hire more people for the IRS. They actually have an application algorithm they created so that they could tax people, waitresses and bartenders and so forth, tax tips. I mean, that's how insane it is at this point. We have, the presidential candidate trying to actually copy the leading candidate at the moment, and that's what he is. He is the leading candidate. So it's you just scratch your head. It's like, wait a minute, didn't they believe this for all these years, and didn't they turn the economy? She says in day one, I will fix what basically was broken. That's what she's saying, and she's the one that broke it. And it's like, why would you fix it now? Oh, just to get elected. I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Just to get elected. That's what it comes down to. It's like, oh my God, yeah. You just shake your head at their nature, just the way they act. All right, now let's go. What Giannis was saying. Let's go and take a look at the, some of the stocks. Let's see. Right. I guess this would be good. Would that be good? It's this one right there. Let's check this out. Let's see some of the stocks on there and see, what we're seeing on the stock market itself. Let's see, right there, right there, right there. And let's just show you like Apple to start off with. There's the top of it. There's Apple showing strength again today. This is now going on the third week in a buy. So Apple really turned the corner and did the V bottom. It definitely is showing that they want to be back in these products. They think that the techs and all that are going to be doing really, really well, and so they're reaching for them. And you can see the same thing. Let's find the next stock. Where's it at? Right there and there. Let's find that next stock. Let's show you what Amazon is doing. Amazon's 3 days in a buy, and it's fighting its way into the buy here and now. Yeah, it's the same thing. And they were in this sell for the slide. Here was that action there. You were in the weekly sell, daily sell there, and they knocked it down. And now, it's like it's trying to. They're lifting it back up. As far as they're concerned, it's all full steam ahead. Basically pedal to the metal. So that's the Amazon, and then we go over and look at Luciano says, could you check out Dell and Lululemon and ZS? ZS is ZS soybeans? Is that what that is? ZS is soybeans? We can easily go back to the soybeans. We'll show you what the November contract is doing and the July contract. That's no problem at all. So let's get Dell on there. We'll go like this. Open this. Go like that. Dell. Right there. And we'll put a good old Dell. I'm always confused. He seems to take them private, then they go public again, and then they go private again. Is it public again? I guess it is. Yeah, Michael Dell really has got that thing working. That's what you could say. That's the widget killer. In other words, all those theoretical concepts by Economics 101 and business, where they used to talk about the widget, the imaginary product that sits in a warehouse, and Michael Dell goes and changes the whole concept that instead of manufacturing these things and sitting them on shelves, you do the opposite. You wait for somebody to order them and have an incredible velocity of putting it together and then selling it. So you don't have all that money tied up. That's pretty much the name of the game there. Okay, so we go like this. Let's try it right there. Let's try where GameStop is. Let's put Dell in there. Let's see, we have Dell. Because it goes private, then public, then private, then public. It's like, I'm not sure sometimes. if we even have these, if we have it anymore. Yep, there it is, Dell. You must have asked for it before. And it's a New York. Oh, it's a New York Stock Exchange stock now. He's moved to New York. There it is. Let's get the weekly in there. Looks like it's climbing up. It was in the short area, in the 135.40 area. It went into that weekly sell here. Went down to, from was it 135 area down to $86, 87 bucks. And then it goes into a daily buy, and it's been in this daily buy right there all the way up. And it turned into a daily buy, kept you out of the weekly sell. It's just that, like I said, there are times where you get into a sell signal, and then there's times you're in a buy signal, and then there are times you're in a neutral position. And we've been in a neutral position, and you jumped in on the neutral more than anything else at this point. That's what it came down to. You jumped in on the neutral position, and you had daily buys and weekly sells. And sometimes, if you do it in the option market, which is not easy for most of you in Europe, then it's not too bad. You can flip it around and turn it into a bull spread and make your money back. But when you're along the hard delta, it makes it harder to flip anything around. You can't really flip it around. It makes it a much more challenging situation. So I can understand the problems there of that. Let's see. So there's Dell, and let's try Lulu. Let's see what the Lulu looks like. It's at LULU, Lululemon. I think that's made some incredibly wild moves. I hear them talking about it. First there was the yoga pants that people were working from home, and so that they were buying those yoga pants, and I guess they wanted to work in yoga pants. I don't know, but in the end result is that the stock went flying to the moon, and then came down, and it's gone back up again. It goes back and forth. It's like a perpetual situation there. All right, let's find Lululemon. Lululemon. Let's see. LU. Nope, I have love. What's it? LULU, right? Oh, ZS is a stock. Zscaler Inc. Okay. I see. Could you check out? I see a Momo stock. Okay, what the Zscaler. Okay. Let me get the add a symbol for Lulu, and I'll look that one up too. So the symbol is actually ZS. Okay. Let's go like this. We're looking for LULU. Try that one more time. Look up. Let's see right there. Let's put ZS in there. See if we can find ZS. Look up. And we'll change this as we're doing that. Oh yeah, there it is. Close. We got both of them now. Here's Lululemon. Let's get that in there. Oh, let's cancel that. Let's get the weekly in there too. LULU. There we go. Close. Now that thing was also, look at that. It was in a weekly sell all the way back in, way back. Look at that. All the way up in the 350 area. Even worse, wasn't it? Wow. 450 area it was in a sell. So it's been in a sell all the way down to, it's still in the weekly sell. And then you can see here the last 3 days we've gone into a buy, and this thing is starting to firm up, and we got the fast moving through it. So that's interesting. It did it here too. It tried to lift up and then failed at it. You know, right there. The fast did. And like that was a great. There's some really great shorts in this thing. Now here's one that hurt you a little bit. You go into the short here. No, you can't. That's not the short. The short is right here. It's the green and red there. So it's go into the short here, and it goes down a little bit, then goes into a buy, and goes back into a short here again, makes money again. And so let's see who's dinging. Dingy, 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 dingy. There. Cool. So, wow, that's Lululemon. I knew it was expensive. I knew it at one point or another it was up in the like 200 or 300, but it was more than that. It was 400. They took it up to $400. Oh my God. Oh my God. There was $500. Went into the weekly sell, really right here in the. There it is, right there. Back in January of this year, up in the 475 area, I guess it is. It stayed in the weekly sell forever. Look at it. Just weekly sell, weekly sell, weekly sell, weekly sell, all the way out from January. And we're just now. Well, we've had some close calls, like right here, where it tried to get almost into the buy. No, that did. It went into the weekly buy there. How about that? Okay, so it went from there. And then the second one was the tenacious one, this one right here, where it was 475, and it was in a weekly sell again. And then Smasho. Let's see. There's the sell right there. It just keeps on collapsing again. And let's see, move that one over. I guess, was that a buy right there? Interesting product. You know, I hear about it talked about all the time, but I never really pay attention to it. But one thing's for sure, it's been in a weekly sell since here, all the way down to, still on a weekly sell. Oh, what did it do? It went into the buy again right there. No, that's a sell. Minus 0.05. The green was minus 0.10, and the fast was at minus 494. So it's been in the sell since right here, since up in here. It's been in the sell. Lost almost 50% of its value. Wow. That's a big drop, 50% of your value. All right, now let's put ZS in there. All right, and then do this one too. ZS. It's a $200 stock, that's for sure. Okay, and it popped into a buy. It went into the sell back in here at the 240-ish area and went all the way down to the 160 area. We went into a buy right there. We went from like 170 up to 193 to 195. It stayed in. No, it went even higher. It went up to like 207, 208, something like that. And then we went back into the sell. Is that a sell there? That is a buy. So it goes into the sell here. And it turns. Just turns. But the daily buy protects you for most of that. So all your wins were really on the short side. And with the weekly sell. And then it goes into the daily buy here. And still in the daily buy from the... it's like the 170 area to the 193 area. And now this week, we didn't make it in there last week. You see there, it was a minus 0.46. But we've been in the daily buy, so you're not short for this move up. That's a good thing. So there's your ZS scaler. ZS scaler. Let's see. Let me do this. There we are. And let's do this for Robin. Here comes your Qs and spies and all that stuff. We'll do that now. and your GTC, or not your GTC, the Bitcoin. So there is SPY, and there's SPY, and you can see it's a little bit firmer again today. It closed in a weekly sell. There we are. SPY, 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 SPY. SPY, 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 SPY. Right there. Yes. And then let's look at Qs. This is the NASDAQ 100 right there. You see the same thing, lots of strength in a buy, and now they're climbing into the weekly buy. So so to sum it up, what is your outlook for the week for these three, Dell, Lulu, and ZS? They all look like they're climbing into weekly buys, and they're in daily buys. So obviously the pressure is on the upside. And last week I was saying like, oh, they're going to chop around in a circle. They're not going to take all-time highs. I think they're taking out all-time highs. And that's exactly what I think. I think they're going to take out all-time highs. That on the stock market, in general, Qs, spiders, and so forth. I think they're going to do that. And at the same time, your Lulu and Dell and ZS, they're doing the same thing. We can take another quick look at it. But they're pushing into weekly buys and daily buys. So in other words, the next daily sell and then goes back into a daily buy with it in a weekly buy is a long. And I'll say that again, and I'll point it out to you again too. Okay, there's a Bitcoin's been weak. I've been surprised about that. But look at the weekly on that thing. It's launching itself. So maybe they're going to start turning Bitcoin on. Can you imagine if you start seeing Bitcoin? They start reaching for the Bitcoins again. I mean, that'll be like, wow. That means like this enormous hunger for equity. And then here's the exchange itself, the Chicago Mercantile Group. And it's trying to climb into the buy today right there. Right there. Is that it? Now that's Friday. Did it close in a buy on Friday? It looks like it closed in a buy on Friday. That's what it is. Okay. So let's remove that and put that in there. So that jumped into the buy. We're already in a weekly buy on that product for the last was that 5? This is 5 weeks going on a 6th week. But let's go back to Lulu, ZS, and what do you call it? CS and ZS. I'm sorry, Lulu, ZS, and Dell. Let me just save this. What's the issue here? Try this one more time. Let's just go like this. Gold. There we are. And then let's do these three. No, it's there. There we are. Do these three like that. And then let's do this. There we go. And we'll put CME in there. And that closed in a buy on Friday. There we go. And there it is there, Robin. I've been so bad. So bad. Let's see, where's it at? Right. Is it that one? There we go. Now let's go back to those right here. So there's ZS. So if ZS will get into a daily sell with a weekly buy, then when it turns back into the daily buy with it, that's when you get long. And I guess they'll take out this 205 or 210. What is that? 208. Wouldn't surprise me. Would it challenge the 20s? Why not? 20, 30. Wouldn't surprise me at all. The way they're reaching for all the products at this point. Then going back to Delsky. What do I have to do? Do I have to put Dell back in there? I guess I do. I guess I have to put all of them back in there. Let's put Lulu back in there. Lulu. There we are. And I would assume it's the same situation with Lulu. In other words, if it gets into a daily sell, and we're in a weekly buy, then when it turns into the daily buy, then it opens the doorway for you to play the upside. is. Now, see, this is the fast is only getting in there, not the slow. So this one's going to be a little bit more cautious. You're going to be more cautious on this one. If it goes into a sell, but it's not in a weekly buy, then you're not going to get long, of course. Matter of fact, if it's in a weekly sell and a daily sell, then this might play down even more. Maybe they don't see that the Lulu. We've seen this product. I want to put it up on. Let me do this. Let's put it up on. I want to see back. I thought it was like a $70 stock at one point, $60 stock. Let's take a look at that. Lulu. I really thought they pounced down, and I didn't realize it was back up to $500. There we are. And here it comes, and here's 5 years. Yeah, see, back in 20, got down to 108. Let's make it so you can see this. Right there. So you can see here, back in 20, stock had gotten down to, what was that, the low was 128. And so, and then I guess, after the COVID, and that's something. They drove that thing all the way up to $500, this year. Going into December, I guess it was December of last year. And then January, it started to fall. Why they? I don't know. I guess their earnings must have reflected it. What are their earnings on here? Ex dividend, there's none. Target estimate. Let's see. Earnings per share. Wow, that's kind of high. 12. What's the earnings? Earnings. It says earnings date. Doesn't show us any history of earnings. I guess they must have had a couple good years. I don't really pay attention to these go-go things, but I'm glad you bring them up to have conversation about them. I got the background and broader outlook, but what about the week? This week? Well, what did I say about? I thought I said about it this week. I could see that first one, that ZS, if it gets into a daily sell and then turns into a daily buy, with it in the weekly buy, I'd say it goes up into like 210, 215, something like that. On the ZS. For this, I don't see there's much strength on the Lulu. It's in the weekly sell. It's in a daily buy at the moment. We'll have to see. You can see the fast has moved up. This one, I'm not as expecting much out of. It looks like it's trapped in neutral. And then let's go to the Dell. Dell. There it is. Let's get this up on the screen there for you too. And do that one there too. Dell. Now Dell's doing that same thing. It's like Lulu. It's got you protected from the move up, but it's not telling you to get long. Now you can see the fastest jumped through last week. So, I mean, if you're trading, binaries, you could have been long it. That's about it. Now let's see if this gets into the weekly buy. This goes into a daily sell. This gets into a weekly buy down here, and then it goes back into a daily buy. I would expect to see something like the 130 area. And that's what I'm thinking, all the way up to the 140 area. Now Dell might be, yoga pants and so forth might not be as in desire as computers and so forth. We're hearing a lot of stories about companies gearing up for the Trump win. They're buying things, they're doing, they're investing in their companies. So the polls are not moving. That's the problem for the Democrats, is the polls have not moved with Miss Harris taking over the position for presidency. The media tells you all the time how wonderful it is, but the polls are still basically the same. Trump is ahead. So it's not, and in the swing states he's ahead. And so it's like, no matter how many nice things they say about Miss Harris and how much she has done to hurt the economy and be a horrible border czar, the media keeps on telling us that she's great. She's the best thing since sliced bread. I got the background. Okay, so do you understand what I'm saying there with the Dell, the Lulu, and the ZS? Only which one was it? I guess it's the ZS is the only one that looks like it really might do something for you on the long side. The other two, Dell's the second best, and Lulu doesn't look good at all. So we'll have to see if it gets into weekly buys for Dell and Lulu, and then we have to see if the daily sell, the daily number, goes back into a daily sell, then back into a daily buy. Whereas ZS looks very, very strong. Okay. All right. So from there, where do we go from there? I'm trying to think where we go from there. Let's take a look at some of the other stocks that you've been following. So there's Meta. You can see Meta's doing that same thing. It jumped into that daily buy down in here and is not letting go, and it closed in a weekly buy last week. So, matter of fact, it just missed the week before. What was that? That was minus 0.38 and minus 77, and the fast was in the buy. So if you're doing binaries off the fast, then it's a winner chicken dinner. That's about it. All right, then from there we go to the Google. Google's been interesting. As it pushed it down, tried to go up. It closed on Friday in a daily buy. The fast is there, and you can see it's up this morning. But the weekly still hasn't turned on the slow. And again, this is another one of those that if you're using the fast and you're using binaries, it's a safe move, to be long, and it's making it there today. If you're waiting for the hard delta, you buy the stock itself. Well, no, you got to wait around for a while. You need this thing to go back into a daily sell. You need this one to get into a daily buy off the slow. And it's another stalled product basically. And then what's the other stock we look at over here? Tesla. I think it's Tesla. Tesla's been in the daily buys from here. The fast went into the buy last week. I see. Okay, so it didn't do it here, and the slow is still in the sell. The slow is still in the sell. And there's a couple of products we like to look at, which is kind of fascinating at times. That Tesla, let's see, where's that? Right there, right? Tesla TSLY. Where is that? TSLY. It's right there, I guess. That's it. It's Tesla. Let's look at Tesla LY right there. See that there? It's been in a daily buy. Let's grab one of these daily buys. So it went into the daily buy here. Now the weekly is still not turning. It's moving up. The fast is getting in there today. That's today. So it looks like a possible good. I guess you can get long it this morning and try to catch a wave up on it, that type of thing. With a binary, not the TSLY itself, but with a binary. Let me save that too. Let's export that onto the beta. Where is it? TSY. Right there. There we go. And put a couple more in there. Let's see, what was the other one? Take a look at the VIX. I thought that was interesting. The VIX closed in a weekly sell last week. Talk about losing it all. Talk about falling apart. I told you the VIX is a lagging indicator. Just because it explodes doesn't mean you get short. It's the other way around. Actually, it's the worst. That's the worst thing about it. especially with it being not American. Yeah, see that? It closed in a weekly sell right there last week. There's the VIX. A lagging indicator. It's not the what is it? They have a name for it. What do they call it? Like the death indicator. I don't know. So they have some stupid name for it. They should just refer to it as the lagging indicators, because that's what it is. It's a lagging indicator. And then you can see here with the crude, as we were looking at before, it's starting to flirt with the daily buy, and it's trying to flirt with the weekly buy. And we're surprised, as far as I'm concerned. We thought for sure that this product would find a way to go down, with everybody moving, money into the idea that Mr. Trump's going to win. You would think that would be the actual direction of it all. It does surprise me that we're seeing it in that action. I guess it's that Israel-Iran thing. Iran made that strange statement that they would try to invade Israel if Hamas doesn't get what they need or what they want, or I don't know, something about Hamas. And I don't understand it. They treated them like as if they're expendable. Iran has treated Hamas like it's expendable. Why now are they pretending that they're going to do something? They don't have the power to do it. It's like one shot once. And there's that gold. Gold is down today, but at the same time, it's been firm. They keep on making new all-time highs. It's like, whew, you're not even sure if you can trust what's going on anymore. The same thing there with silver. I'm happy to see silver try to get to $30. It's like, how do they not keep silver up in the $30 area? But they do. They find a way to drive it sideways and crazy. They really do. I thought the ZS was soybeans. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, cool, soybeans. Wouldn't that be neat? Because Dukascopy does trade soybeans. They are active traders. You can see today that thing's trying to head down. So there's the export that. Let's export that one out. We'll put them on the beta and take a quick look at them. That'll be kind of fun. There's right there. And the last one is the soybean, the ZS. Z scatter. What's that? It's a momentum stock. It doesn't look that momentum-y though. It doesn't look like a Momo stock. It just looks like it's being sold off more than anything else. Maybe we can take a deeper look at that product. But it doesn't really have that momentum stock look to it. Lululemon is a momentum stock, where it goes from 128 to 500, dollars. They're definitely that is momentum there. That is truly momentum. Let's see that ZS again. Where is it at? Is it right there? I think we looked at it as the first one, right? ZS. And I think we have like Della in there now. You know what? Let's knock out like coin and put ZS in there, since you say it's a momentum stock. This way we don't have to change it around. We can keep an eye on it. Because that sounds interesting, ZS. It's the best bet out of the three of them, that's for sure. ZS. Stock. There we are. Yeah, we're going to keep that. Yeah, see, that's climbing into the buy. It's in a daily buy. All we need is a little edge where they try to knock it down one of these days and then jump into it. But that we go back and look at that. A momentum stock usually goes to the moon. 250 is not the moon when you're trading at 193. But you know what? It was back in May of last year. Is it May of last year? Yeah, May of last year. It was like an $80 stock, right? So it was an $88 stock, $87 stock. So yeah, it tripled. You're right about that. That was a heck of a move. Are they another one of those tech companies? Are they a chip manufacturer? Chip manufacturer. We'll have to look them up and see what they do. A chippy manufacturer. Those chip manufacturers tripled and quadrupled. Look at Nevada. It went to the moon. Literally went to the moon. Let's try that again. Went to the moon. I guess we'll get out of here at this point. Got to come up with a title too. What kind of title should we have today? I'm going to look up what ZS is though. That'll be interesting. Tomorrow we'll get more involved in ZS. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, later, traders. Catch you on the flip side tomorrow. Same time, same channel. So this is Doc saying arrivederci. And oh, what am I calling this webinar? How about surprise V bottom? Because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a big surprise. Yep. There we go. That's the title. Surprise V bottom.